I wanted to do a real quick run through on the major economic events, at least FX and commodities this week, if you guys don't mind. And everyone watching
Please.
at home, you'll see them come up at the bottom of the screen here. Coming on Tuesday morning at 8:30, we've got the retail sales data coming out of the US, forecasted 0.2%, previous 0.6%, so a slowdown there. Tuesday night at about 10 p.m., we're looking at the Chinese GDP, 4.4%, following a 6.3%. So they're expecting a massive slowdown in Chinese GDP. So keep an eye on the pairs like the Aussie dollar, where you might move. Wednesday, Great British Pound CPI coming down, expected to slow down, closely followed by the European CPI, also expecting a slowdown. So that's both of the CPIs coming out of Europe, where really they are expecting inflation data to come in a little bit. Building permits at 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday, a little bit of a slowdown there. And your favorite, Aaron, at 10:30 p.m. on Wednesday night, crude oil inventories for the US is going to be released. And then moving into Thursday, you got initial jobless claims, expecting the uptick, as we all expect. We're expecting unemployment to rise at the moment. Moving into about 10 a.m., existing home sales expected downtick. No surprise there with the cost of living crisis happening. And then finally, at midday on Thursday, the big bad wolf, Mr. Powell, is going to have a conversation to everyone. So that's your main economic events ahead this week. What are you guys looking at? Are you looking to see some movers in some of these assets?
Some man, this week, relatively speaking, is quite light for some of the stuff that I'm looking at. Outside of Powell, I do believe Powell initial jobless claims are going to play a role, but there's no NFP, right? The CPI is only happening in Britain. Our CPI already came out here in the States, and it was it was 0.4. I think it was 0.4%. And so, right now, everything is staying the course. The things that I'm really watching for more in the way of opportunity are things like, for example, Microsoft having finally gotten the deal done with Activision. Microsoft, even though that there was rebalancing, I talked about this a little bit a few weeks ago. There was a bit of a rebalancing in the S&P 500, was a little bit of a rebalancing in the NASDAQ, happens every few years, whatever. Microsoft still represents an incredible amount of the U.S. economy in respect to the indices. It's something like 4% of the NASDAQ, a little bit more. I think it's somewhere around 7% of the NASDAQ, something like 4% of the S&P 500. So if Microsoft opens up tomorrow and shoots through the moon, as it very possibly could, it's going to carry with it a lot in terms of the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, all the major indices that it's a part of. Now, of course, it's Microsoft. It's not like a pharmaceutical company that just got a deal with the U.S. government on producing some new drug. It's not going to go from $1 to $87. It's not going to be 1,000 or 2,000% return, but just a 4 to 5% return, 4 to 5% uptick in something like Microsoft stock is going to really positively affect every tech stock in the business. It's going to be a situation where high tide raises all boats. So I'm very curious to see that kind of news. But the other news, in truth, while they are important, I don't think it's really going to affect too much of the stuff that I'm looking at, unless you talk about the Israel situation, of course.
Hey guys, Jordan here. Just wanted to send you a personal little thank you for sticking around and watching us here at TradeDelicious. If you did enjoy the content, consider subscribing. Everything we do here is completely free. And of course, we have some other video suggestions here which you might love. We will see you in the next video.